Hello, everyone. Well, I'm going to keep this little nugget brief, but this is kind of a start of a new thing I'm trying. I've kind of done it before, but this is going to be a little different. A little daily quip on something in ag tech, all of that. So every day, fill it up. I'm going to put that in my newsletter. That's what we're doing. Anyways, so for this first one, whether I theme this out for a week or not, but today I'm going to talk a little bit about soil health. Now, I'm not the expert in soil health, and there's a thousand ways that you can look at it. But I recently read a little newsletter quip myself from Sarah Mock, who's got a great perspective on agriculture broadly, and she calls out things kind of like I do, it seems. So, but she was at a conference, and to the point that it was what's the most impactful thing in agriculture, that can help us or something, and is people put up their hands and voted for all these different things, but it was soil health was like the number one thing. We hear about it all the time. I've got friends and colleagues like that's their MO. It's like healthier soil, more nutrient dense crops, better animals. All you keep on going. To her point, yeah, that's all true and great to various extents, but is it the single biggest thing? Really? Well, to her point, it's actually probably more you know, money, profit. If farmers can't make money, then soil health, you know, it's not necessarily number one on their mind. They want to make money so they can have healthier soil and all these other things can happen. The economics still has to make sense to even farm it. And, making soil healthier, while great, can take a long time. And there's a lot of different nuance to it as well. For instance, yeah, you can put a bunch of cover crops, you can no-till, you can, reduce chemicals. There's all these great things. I'll put animals on the ground, do the whole Gabe Brown thing, which he's a North Dakota farmer, uh, I don't know, 300 miles west of me, basically. But that's a different area. But that's the point. He lives in a different area and a place that has different soils, different soil profile, different climate. He's in more of a area where there's a lot more cattle, where you can implement them together. There's all sorts of things in that realm. Here in the Red River Valley, where I'm in, it's flat. There isn't a lot of cattle. There's a little more actually by me than there is, call it more east towards Fargo, where there's basically none because the land is very fertile and flat and best for high value crops and things of that nature. Now with the cattle prices, maybe that's switching. But the point is that doesn't always work everywhere. That can't be the number one driving factor necessarily. It should be top in mind to do healthier practices and hopefully make these things work. But defining it as that might be problematic. And I would agree. It just it can't necessarily be the one all be all, be this broad thing that we all want to say this will help everybody in the world and everybody can do it the way that we should do it, like Gabe or others that are doing all these great things. The reality is some cropping practices just really don't work that way. uh, Vegetable production and certain specialty crops really don't, like sugar beets. You got to till the crop out of the ground. It's not that you can't do some different no-till things there, but with the soils here, it's borderline impossible due to compaction and water and things like that, where there's areas people do some no-till or strip-till sugar beets in more sandier soil, like Nebraska, and they irrigate them. Potatoes, it's another example. It's tilling up the soil. You're pulling things out. Peanuts, things of that nature. There's not everything's equal, and that's the point. Is we can't think that we can all do these exact practices the way everyone really wants them to. And that works in technology too. We can't just assume that this is how this will work everywhere perfectly broadly. While we all want these big umbrella effects that make everyone seem better and can all strive towards, which is not necessarily bad, it's just we can't forget there's a lot of nuance to those things. And some are going to be able to showcase it maybe better and easier versus other areas of the world where it's different and climate's different and soils are different and farming crops and practices are different and how everything's educated is different. So great goal. Farmers still got to make money at the end of the day. You know, there's the quip for today. Curious on your thoughts. Go soil health, but also go economics, because that's what everyone's worrying about right now in the current agriculture mindset. Not necessarily number one, soil health. So yeah, something to think about. We'll see you next time or tomorrow. Later.